Catherine, did you forget we're doing a video?
Oh, yeah.
Hi there! Welcome to Daybird Aviaries. If this is your first time visiting with us, welcome. We're glad you're here. In today's video, we're going to talk just a bit about the difference between an aquarium, a terrarium, and a vivarium. More specifically, we're going to be talking about a BioActive Vivarium. Is just that. It's just a box made out of glass. Now this was manufactured to be used as an aquarium, to fill with water and to put live aquarium fish in it. So we have lots of aquariums. An aquarium like this, and you put live plants into it, it becomes a terrarium, a planted terrarium. Now if you use a glass box like this to house, and you can put paper towels in the bottom, a nice clean aquarium, put paper towels or newspaper into the bottom of it. You can put a water bowl and a little plastic cave for a creature to hide in, and you could use this for a small snake or a small lizard, and then this would be called a vivarium.
Vivarium?
Vivarium.
That sounds real.
It does sound weird.
Vivarium.
Now, if you were to construct this as a terrarium with dirt in the bottom, with soil of some sort in the bottom, maybe put in a few nice rocks, maybe a piece of driftwood or an old stump, and put lots of appropriate plants in here, and then put your small snake or your small lizard in, it would be called a planted vivarium. Now if you just had newspaper or paper towels or aspen bark on the bottom,
Or maybe it's just regular paper.
or just regular paper, you would have to clean that out
Yeah.
quite often.
Like
Now if this were a planted vivarium with a lizard in here and some plants in here, you would still have to clean this out, but maybe not as often, because the plants will actually absorb the nutrients that
it will help them go.
it will help them grow. The plants will absorb the nutrients that the lizard excretes out. Do you know what that means, Catherine?
Poop or pee?
Yeah, when the lizard poops. Okay? And so it's going to stay cleaner longer. Now when you construct one and you include other creatures in here, like isopods. Now you know what an isopod is, don't you?
A roly-poly.
It's a roly-poly. Everybody knows what a roly-poly is. If you include roly-polies, or maybe a millipede, a very small millipede.
Like about this long?
Yes, ma'am. Or some tiny little creatures called springtails. They will help to eat all of the waste matter that the small snake or small lizard, or maybe even a small frog, would produce. And so that's what we're going to try to do today with this terrarium, right? And so we have some soil. Now it's mixed up with sand and some bark chips and some of the ground cocoa husk fibers. And it is pre-moistened, and Catherine has some in a bucket, and she's going to pour the entire bucket full slowly and very carefully into this glass box. Oh, it is so heavy. Do you need my help?
I got it. I'm just using my hands.
No, don't use your hands. I want you to pour it. Now it is very moist and very clumpy. A little bit more, that should work.
I thought we were putting it all in.
Now, as Catherine smooths this out and gets her fingers dirty, I want to talk just a little bit. There is a lot of controversy on the internet about keeping a leopard gecko on loose substrate. Some people feel as though you should only keep a leopard gecko on paper towels or newspaper or a product called Repti carpet, which is like
Do you want me to pack it in?
I do not want you to pack it at all, which is like an AstroTurf product made to go on the bottom of an aquarium, a vivarium, specifically for...
Yeah, plastic.
Yeah, I think that's part of the bag. Let's take that out.
I dropped it in.
The controversy is that some people feel as though if you were to keep a leopard gecko on sand, that the leopard... It has some, yeah. That the leopard gecko would consume the sand and become impacted and not be able to pass his poop. So basically become constipated so badly that he would die. And that would be bad. That would be so sad. So if you haven't clued yourself in yet, Catherine received a leopard gecko pet as part of her Christmas gifts this year. And we have named the leopard gecko Sandy. Now leopard geckos, a lot of people think they come from the deserts, and they don't. They come from arid grasslands in the Middle East. And so
Can we make it bumpy so it looks
I think what you've done right now is absolutely perfect. Now look what I'm going to do. We have this curvy piece of wood I'm going to put right here, just like that. And then I have this piece of, it's not slate, it's actually, I think it's called shale, not like a sea shell, but S-H-A-L-E. It's a rock and it's reddish in color. And I'm going to put it right there. What I am essentially doing is I'm making planting areas in the back corners. And Catherine's going to put soil out of her bucket into those planting areas.
Just get a handful.
A lot of people have the misconception, though, that leopard geckos are desert animals and they live on sand, and so they will sometimes, unfortunately, keep the leopard gecko on a sand substrate. And that's not what a leopard gecko needs. Okay, now put a whole bunch over here in this other corner.
This is a whole bunch delivery coming in.
I have a trick to avoid all of this. And the trick is that we only feed our leopard gecko in a separate container. Just a smooth plastic container with no substrate. And therefore we don't have to worry about the leopard gecko consuming substrate. Now that does require more work on our part because we have to get the leopard gecko out every single day, and it requires handling of the animal, and I know that that's not appropriate.
It's empty, wait till you
Okay, we'll put a little bit more in. But this is what we're doing. Now I have kept leopard geckos
before.
Many times in the past. I have had colonies of leopard geckos, a rack system of little plastic tubs, not little, but plastic tubs, where I had one gecko per tub, and I kept them on paper towels and with the hide and with the water bowl. And that's perfectly adequate. If that is the way that you want to keep your leopard gecko, if that is how you choose to do it, no judgment on my part whatsoever. That is an excellent way to keep a leopard gecko.
I can put this in.
I like that just fine, baby. If you have more soil in your bucket, can you put more soil in there, please? However, at this point in my life, I want something just a little bit more natural to look at. But I kept about 40 to 50 adult leopard geckos, and I was breeding them.
I'm trying to do.
What, baby?
I'm trying to make it a place they can just like sit in.
Yeah, I think that's a wonderful idea. But remember, we're going to put plants up there.
Yeah, but like, why did we?
So we're going to pause, and we're going to come back in just a moment. So to plant this vivarium, we're going to use some succulents. We found these at our local Home Depot yesterday, and they were intended to be sold as Christmas gifts, holiday gifts.
I like this one.
I love the pots. They're beautiful, and I love the plants. But because they were Christmas items, they were marked down 50% off. And so, whereas if we were to buy just one thing of succulents from Home Depot, this size, in a 2-inch pot, they were almost $3 a piece.
And how much is this?
And we have 4 individual plants with lots of little babies in this pot, and 5 different types of plants in this pot.
Daddy, this one's leaf is wrinkled.
Yeah, they're cool, aren't they? We got these for about $3.50 per pot, and so we were able to save a lot of money that way.
Good amount.
That is
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9. At $3 a piece, that would have been a lot of money.
I like this one right here.
Yeah, we're gonna have to put that somewhere special so it can be seen. I'm not even sure what that is. A lot of these I know are called symperviums, or hens and chicks, and these they look similar to jade plants. I'm not sure what they are exactly. Yeah, be very careful with them. Yeah. Okay.
This one kind of has a fuzzy texture.
We're going to take these out of the pot. I don't want to use a lot of this soil.
Yeah.
I'm not going to wash the plants. A lot of people would say to wash them. I'm not going to, because they are succulents. I don't want, and it's, you know, it's December, it's winter time. I don't want to expose them to too much water.
Yeah.
I don't want them to get root rot and to die. But I am going to remove as much soil as possible so that we're not transferring any pathogens or any chemical fertilizers into our gecko enclosure. And so we'll be
gecko to die.
Absolutely not. We'll be right back. Look at what we've ended up with. We've ended up with this little grouping and this cute little plant here. And we have 2 of these and a little group of this. We have this.
I think this is the same kind of plant as that, but just a little different color.
We have this beautiful, Catherine's calling it a tree. You know, one of the leaves has fallen off of it.
Yeah,
and this actually has sprouted and is growing a little baby plant on its own. We have that and this big beautiful one here, and then this one with the giant fuzzy leaves that the kids just can't stop petting. Now these were growing in a mixture. It looks just like it was just plain peat moss and perlite. Now you do not ever want to use a mix that has perlite in it, because the little leopard gecko will
eat it.
Will possibly eat that. So we're going to clean up our mess, and we're going to set these plants into the tank.
Daddy, this one, I got the most stuff off of it.
Yeah, you did a good job.
Yeah.
We're going to get them placed and see how they all look, and we'll be right back. How we want it. These are just lying in here at the moment. I think that one may look better over there. What do you think, Catherine?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's some plants, roots there.
This one's like like a little scenery to look at.
Yeah. I think these are nice. We have these little plants filling in the gaps here. We have this big guy. He has the biggest root ball. And so he's going to go into this big planting area here. Now, I know the lizard's going to climb up there, and I welcome that. That's not going to be a problem. Even if he were to dig some of these up, we'll just replant them. This is about the lizard and not necessarily about the plants.
Oh, us.
Well, definitely not us. This is his habitat. But I think this looks nice. So we're going to plant these and come back. Alright, so we've got most of these planted. And I just have a few small little stems that have broken off of this guy. I'm just going to push them in. Kind of help them to spread out a little, I suppose. There, that looks good. And then these little things, not even sure what they are. I kind of want them to grow over here. So Catherine brought me tweezers in case I needed that. She has seen that on some of the videos. I'm just going to put these in this last little bit. I guess that's just going to be like a ground cover under there. Let me get just a little bit of dirt. There we go. Put that right on there. Now I did buy a package of an all organic cactus and orchid and palm tree mix, but it had a lot of perlite in it, and so I'm not going to use that just in case the gecko were to accidentally eat that. And I think that is a piece of perlite that has fallen from some of these other plants. So maybe I'm just being too extra careful cautious, but I just want to get those out. I think that looks very nice. I am well pleased with that. Now I have a water bowl, a dish that we're going to put in this front corner. Now a gecko needs a hiding place, and our hiding cave is big. It's great for a full-sized gecko, but our gecko is a tiny, not tiny little, it's not a tiny newborn hatchling, but our hiding cave is going to take up most of the room. Now I've already tried, it's not covering up any of the plants. We will put this in for the gecko to hide, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to leave it out. Now, I'm going to get Catherine to come in, and we're going to release the beast. We're going to get the gecko. Little critter keeper that we have kept her in temporarily. This is what we use to feed her in. Catherine loves watching her eat. She eats small mealworms and small crickets and small wax worms. We're going to get a culture of dubia roaches that we can keep, and we'll feed those to her. And we dust her food with the calcium powder, and we're gonna let Catherine pick her up. Careful.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, put her back down here and let her walk.
No, that's okay. She licked me.
No, we haven't had her very long, and we don't think that she has much experience with being handled. And of course, as they grow, they get more confident, and so they're not quite as squirmy.
She just finds it in the corner.
Well, guys, thank you for watching. We're going to put a screen top on here. We're going to put a light on top. We're going to get this set up on the shelf with a heat pad to keep her nice and warm and comfortable. she's loving being able to climb.
Yeah, I think she likes it.
She may not have ever had this experience before. Obviously, she is captive bred. We got her from a big box chain pet store. I'm very, very happy with her.
She's stepping on a little plant.
That's okay.
Yeah.
This is about the lizard and not about the plant. I do have the cleanup crew, the amphipods and not amphipods, but the isopods and the springtails ordered, and I will show you those when they get here. If you haven't already, please like our video, please share our video, and give us a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.
A little bit grumpy. No? Mommy, go mill it. Mommy, go mill it.